Long before rivers were crossed by bridges and their currents carefully mapped, people believed that every river carried a memory. It remembered the footsteps along its banks, the prayers whispered into its waters, and the promises people made when no one else was listening. Among the oldest legends carried by these rivers is the story of a goddess called Manasa Devi. She was known as the protector against snake bites, the guardian of those who lived close to the water, and a goddess who asked for only one thing in return: to be remembered. For centuries, villages across eastern India lived beside rivers that gave life, carried trade, and sometimes brought terrible floods. The forests were home to countless snakes. During the monsoon season, people turned to Manasa Devi, believing she could protect families from their deadly bite. Her temples were often simple shrines beneath trees or beside quiet riverbanks. Farmers, fishermen, and travelers left flowers, milk, and prayers, hoping for her blessing. But there was one man who refused to bow before her. His name was Chand Saudagar, one of the wealthiest merchants of his time. Proud, respected, and deeply devoted to another god, he believed that no one could force his faith, not even a goddess. The stories tell us that Mansa Devi wished to be worshipped throughout the land. Most people gladly offered their prayers, but Chand Saudagar remained firm. He would never bow before her. Some say his pride angered the goddess. Others believe she simply wished to teach him humility. Whatever the reason, the legend says that one by one, tragedy entered his life. Storms destroyed his ships before they could return home. His wealth began to disappear. Then came the greatest sorrow of all. His sons passed away, leaving only the youngest, Lakhinder, to carry the family's future. Fearing another tragedy, Chand Saudagar ordered an extraordinary wedding gift for his son. A bridal chamber made entirely of iron. Its walls were sealed. Its doors were guarded. Not even the smallest snake could enter. On the night of the wedding, Lakhinder and his young bride, Behula, stepped inside the chamber, believing they were finally safe. But legends have a way of reminding us that no wall can keep out destiny. According to the old story, a tiny opening remained hidden in the ironwood. Through it slipped a single serpent. Before dawn, Lakhinder had been bitten. When morning came, the celebrations had fallen silent. The young bride refused to accept her husband's fate. Placing his body upon a simple raft, Behula began a journey along the river unlike any other. Day after day, she drifted through rain and sunlight. Villages watched her pass in silence. The river carried her farther than anyone believed possible. She prayed, she wept. She never abandoned hope. It is said that even the gods were moved by her devotion. At last, Behula stood before the divine court and pleaded not for riches or power, but only for the life of the man she loved. The gods listened. Mansa Devi offered a single condition. If Chand Saudagar would finally acknowledge her, the lives that had been lost would be restored. The proud merchant resisted until the very end. Yet after all he had endured, he understood that pride had cost him more than any treasure could replace. The stories say that he finally offered the goddess a flower. Some versions tell that he did so with his left hand, unwilling to surrender all of his pride. Even so, the offering was accepted. Lakhinder returned to life. The merchant's family was restored. And from that day forward, the name of Mansa Devi spread across villages, carried by rivers, and remembered in songs that are still sung today. Whether every moment happened exactly as the legend tells us is something no one can truly know. But for centuries, this story has reminded people that faith is rarely about fear. It is about humility, about recognizing that even the strongest among us cannot control every current of life. Along the rivers of eastern India, the name of Mansa Devi is still spoken with respect, and her story continues to flow from one generation to the next, just like the waters that first carried it. Perhaps that is why rivers have always inspired so many legends. They never stop moving, yet somehow they never forget. Thank you for listening to When the World Whispered. Until our next story, keep wondering.